What's up, everybody? My name is Jesse, and this is Yoga with Jesse Wrench. I've been absent for quite some time now, but I just had a thought while I was journaling to record a yoga video, specifically for this historic virus spreading around called COVID-19, and I would like to introduce you to COVID-19 Kryptonite yoga practice. Okay? Now today this is about health and practices that I believe in wholeheartedly and practice consistently. It has been on and off for the last couple of years, but I've been immersed in this yoga practice and meditation for quite some time. Anyway, so one of the practices is that I've been experimenting with the last couple of weeks every day is Nauli Kriya. And so that is one practice we'll begin with, is a Nauli Kriya, and this is a massaging of the internal organs. And this is known to basically be a kryptonite to any dis-ease or illness. And if practiced consistently, so it's like to me, I think it's like having having a good blood flow in the veins. This opens up the flow for the organs. So you've got all the large and small intestine, the kidneys, the spleen, and all the good stuff in the bladder. So we'll practice with the Nauli Kriya, and this is best if done on an empty stomach. It's safer that way. And if you experiment, you'll notice the differences. It's much more difficult to do it with anything in your stomach. So empty stomach. And yeah, like I said, I believe this to be something that will prevent disease or illnesses to enter into the body, along with yoga asana practices and meditation. And so we'll begin with a little bit of that and then go to some asanas. And like I said, I haven't done a video in a long time. I haven't taught yoga in a while, so this is a very spontaneous moment for me. And with the huge pandemic happening, I think we could use a little bit of light and a little bit of a little bit of spice in our life right now. And now that we're all at home, and as well as myself, this is something that, COVID-19 Kryptonite yoga practice, baby. So if you go ahead and follow along with me, just going to take a big deep inhale in. Exhale all the air and bend down. In the event of the exhale, you pull the stomach in to meet the spine. Okay, so it looks hollowed out. And I attempted to kind of lift up so you could see where I exhaled all the air in my body and the diaphragm and in my lungs. And then I pulled in. And at the moment, my stomach is like growling, or not growling, but it's making all these funny noises. And so this is like part one of the step in Nauli Kriya. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I've watched other YouTube videos and I kind of just follow along. But the first step is exhaling. Pulling in and holding it there. And then you do this a few times, a few repetitions. So we'll try this again. And for some of us, this actually could be a little bit discomforting. The first time I did it this morning, I felt a little pain, not pain, but discomfort. And I think it's just kind of, the body's attempt to massage these organs and to move them around. If you think about it, we never really do anything inside of this part of our body. It just goes every day. It does its duty. It digestive system, everything just does its job, and we don't really consider giving it any attention. But throughout the day, every day, you're putting fluids in there, food in there, and it has to do all this work. So this is a good time to give some attention to this area of the body and to experiment. So if you can't work towards this at the beginning, which could happen for a lot of us, I just massage the area. Just kind of massage this area and get used to feeling your organs move around and being pressed in. It's almost like after I exhale and I hold, I can smell the carbon dioxide in the air. Or carbon monoxide. Whatever. So that's the first part, and I'll do this a few times. And as I mentioned before, this is a very spontaneous moment of, for me, challenging myself to put myself out there to the universe and out to the world to allow people to share what I have to say, what experiences I've come across and what I know. This is a challenge for me to put myself out there, and taking videos and teaching is one way to do that. And if you're anything like me, I do pretty well talking myself out of things. So this is something I just want to dive into. Who knows if I'll even post it, but let's do one more, okay? Whoa. Take a deep breath, some deep breaths after that. This is a great way to work on breathing exercise as well, because it works towards taking deep breath in, exhaling out all the air in your body, and holding, and then you respond by wanting to take another deep inhale. So this kind of works as a great breathing exercise as well. So let's move to part 2. So once again, take another deep inhale. So on this one, part 2, you inhale, exhale all of the air in your diaphragm, your lungs, your body. You inhale, exhale in, pull in your belly like you did the first part 1. And then the only difference is you push this center piece out, just like the abdominal muscles. So you inhale, exhale there, pull your belly in like the part 1. And then the second part is, I'll show you here again. You like suck in the middle piece. And this only happens through practice, like more and more practice. And if you have a teacher that teaches this, I haven't been to a yoga studio yet where they teach Nauli Kriya. Now, that probably just means I haven't traveled around the world enough, but, you know, I've been back in my hometown in Illinois, here in Florida. Did I go to a couple classes in California, Phoenix, Arizona, some of the, you know, just yoga studios around where I was traveling. There was asana practices, you know, vinyasa, rock, ashtanga, and hot yoga flows and stuff like that. And there was meditation classes and yin, but there wasn't like any Nauli Kriya. So that's one thing I'm bringing up also is you know, yoga is more than just the poses and asanas. What asanas means poses. Asanas is Sanskrit for poses. And that's what you typically think of when you talk about yoga. But yoga is way more than that. That's just like a small fraction of connecting the body with the mind and the soul, and, you know, your intuition and connecting the breath. It's about being able to feel instead of think all the time. But Nauli Kriya is another form, in my opinion. Meditation is another form. Singing, like kirtan yoga, that's a whole nother thing. So there's so much more. Anyway, back to the Nauli Kriya. So this part 2 is about practicing, and practicing part 1 continuously. You know, start with your foundation and then work your way up. You have to practice with that part 1. It helps to plant your hands here, kind of push off. So that's part 2. And like I said, it takes a lot of practice, but eventually you'll feel when you're pulling in. At first I was doing it and like I couldn't get this part just to pop out in part 2. It would kind of like be a little bit, and so on and so forth. Anyway, part 3 is once again adding part 1 and then part 2. You add those together, and then there's a third movement. And I'll perform that here. My stomach's got all kinds of growling right now, but I think it's saying thank you for taking the time to do this. So, and there's a guy, Montauk Chia. He talks about, you can look him up on YouTube. But he talks about massaging the organs, and he has a practice that he'll show. He has a video he shows, and specifically Montauk Chia on London Reel. There's some good videos with him, but there's another one where he talks about talking to your organs and thanking your organs for the work that they're doing. And this sounds bizarre, but it's just something to play around with if you have some extra time. And now's a great time for a lot of people. And I actually encourage, you know, your health and health is you. For anyone who has a disease or illness or someone, specifically with COVID-19, I don't know how bad it is. I have no idea. I'm not going to attempt to even try to understand right now. But if you have the possibility of massaging your organs or thanking your organs, or, you know, if you have the ability to kind of take a holistic approach and just consider it, I encourage you to try that. I encourage you to work with your body to go into that meditative state and thank your organs, or thank your body for the healing process is beginning. But part 3 looks like something like this. So in part 3, you bring in the stomach. Part 2, push out the middle part, right? And then in the third movement is to rotate. Like you can internally rotate this piece of your belly. So it's just bizarre, but it's really cool. And I'm still very early in the fresh stages. Like I said, I encourage you to look at other videos of people who've practiced for much longer time. But this is just to kind of promote this type of holistic practice. It's been along for a long time, and just kind of here to have fun with it, and and be expressive. So let's attempt this number 2. I see, I couldn't even do it that time. All right, so that's kind of the structure of Nauli Kriya. My stomach is growling and grumbling a lot right now. I haven't eaten since yesterday at like 6 or 7 or something. It's almost noon here. It might be past noon. Anyway, this is I think I'm just gonna keep this video at this point. But yeah, that's me kind of practicing that as an amateur, as someone who's immersed themselves in the ancient art of yoga for the last 2.5 years, going on 3 now, and yeah, so this is something that I'm passionate about, and I just wanted to bring it to the world. It's already out there, but it's something to consider and think about during this interesting time of our lives. So I hope the best. I hope for healing and health, and I'll see you in another video. I look forward to practicing and teaching yoga and giving my insights and just kind of being expressive and creative and connecting with everybody. So